Ancient Ireland was a land of high kings and saints, sacred abbeys and magnificent castles. Home to megalithic tombs and ceremonial sites, once important towns and famous battle sites, I journeyed to the Boyne Valley to learn about the history of Ireland. We started our visit at Dunboyne Castle Hotel, where we were treated to the most amazing meal that night, and while we didn't get to test out their spa, we have heard great things. It was an early night for us as we had 3 full days of adventure to come.
We are starting our day here in the Boyne Valley at Beewise, so we're learning all about solitary bees and bumblebees and honeybees, and we're learning about pollination. This place is open to the public, so people can come here and visit here and walk around. There's a sensory garden, there's all sorts of wildflowers. This amazing area that we're walking through right now kind of feels like jungle-like, and then there's little pieces of information signs everywhere that tells you about the animals you'll find here, about the bees you'll find, about the flowers you'll find, and gives you tips if you want to have honeybees in your own garden at home, the importance of bees and why we need to be protecting them. So this is the first place I recommend you guys to visit here in the beautiful Boyne Valley.
Hello, I'm Paddy Gorman here at Beewise Garden Nature Walk in Kilmessan, County Meath. So at Beewise Nature Walk, you can come for a walk, you can take as long as you like, up to 4 hours it will take you if you read all the information points. We do guide you along the way at certain times, and there's picnic areas, tea and coffee and toilets and parking facilities.
We are continuing our tour here of the beautiful Boyne Valley by stopping off in the village of Trim, which used to be a very important and historical town here in Ireland, like almost as important, if not more important, than Dublin at one stage. And it's also home to Trim Castle, which is the largest castle by area in the Republic of Ireland. It's absolutely huge grounds, massive keep in the middle in a sort of cross-shaped. And then there's amazing walks all around the castle, across the river. You can kind of look back at the castle, you can see right here behind me, and you can do this walk all along by the river and around the village of Trim, or the town of Trim, and see a lot more historical sites, old gates, ruined abbeys, and a lot of historical sites that are all situated in Trim or near Trim town.
Just a 10-minute drive from Trim is the beautiful Bective Abbey, a ruined Cistercian abbey on the River Boyne that dates back to 1147. The abbey was founded by the King of Meath, who ruled for 47 years, and his lands stretched from the Midlands all the way to the east coast of Ireland. This abbey, along with Trim Castle, was actually used as a filming location for the much-loved movie Braveheart. It was here in the cloisters of Bective Abbey that the scene with the princess confiding in her maid was filmed. The abbey is a fun one to walk around and explore, with lots of nooks and crannies, and a place much loved by families with young kids.
After a busy morning of exploring, it is time to stop off for lunch. So we're coming here to Maguire's Cafe in Tara. It has some very good reviews, and we're looking forward to a delicious lunch here at Maguire's.
So have you lived here all your life? Yeah.
So if you are stopping off here at Maguire's, there's a cute little gift shop next door, and then down the road as well there's this artist called Courtney. He's written over 52 books. He's a real character, super interesting.
I began in 1977, and my first book came out in 1984, and my 52nd book came out in January this year.
What? That's crazy.
So, yeah, I've been around a long time. Yeah.
What are your books about?
Well, the first 3 books were about Merlin. I used to connect with Merlin, and together I created all the books. So It was about spirituality, it was about recreating pages from old manuscripts that Celtic manuscripts that were badly damaged. That's why I've got relics of St Bridget and Columba here, because I did a lot of work with the priests and stuff.
And you can stop off and check out his designs, his prints, his books, his jewellery, and lots of other stuff inside of his very colourful and very quirky shop.
After lunch, it was time to walk up to the Hill of Tara, an ancient ceremonial and burial site that remains one of the most important historical sites in Ireland, as it was here that the inauguration of the High Kings of Ireland took place. As with many ancient sites in Ireland, the Hill of Tara is home to many myths and legends that only a good guide will be able to fill you in on. Our guide Derek from Beautiful Meath Tours told us about the legend of the fairy trees and how to make a wish, as well as the famous fertility stone, which women should walk around clockwise 3 times if they wish to have children. For our second night in the Boyne Valley, we checked into the beautiful Slane Castle Hotel and were pretty blown away by the view from our room. We decided to get all dressed up and head out to the rooftop bar for some drinks with a view before dinner.
We're here at the Stockhouse in Trim, and it's apparently pretty well known for their spicy chicken wings, so I had to order them. A bit messy, so excuse me, but I gotta try it. My eyes are watering. Yum. Okay, so I've just been given, this is empty, don't worry, but I've been given a taster of this Slane Irish whiskey, which is obviously from County Meath. This is the whiskey that they're using in their Irish coffees, and their whiskey sours, and any other whiskey-based drinks here in the Stockhouse in Trim. So yeah, I just got a little push in here of a serving of Slane whiskey, and it's time to try it. Yum.
We started our second morning with a tour of Slane village on electric bikes with Rock Farm Slane, crossing the mighty River Boyne and cycling up to the beautiful Slane Castle, where we even got a peek inside this perfectly intact 18th century castle. We cycled past the Slane Distillery, home to the whiskey we drank the night before, and took in some amazing views of the land where the Slane rock concerts take place, before heading back to the local farmers market.
So after our amazing cycle around the Rock Farm and Slane Castle, we've come back here to the Rock Farm where they have a market on Thursdays in the morning from about 10:30 until 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. And as you can see, there's quite a few people here. It's inside what were once, I guess, kind of silage pits, like an old barn that's now converted into an event space, and because of COVID there aren't any events happening, so they decided to turn that space into a farmer's market. So they're selling their own food, such as fruits and vegetables, and then lots of local producers and stuff have come in. So we've decided to try some Rocky Road, which is delicious. And there's like a little coffee truck where you can get coffee and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys are here in Slane on a Thursday, highly recommend coming here. And any other day you can come to Rock Farm anyway and do electric bike tours or walks around the farm, and they also have glamping.
Our day of adventure continued with a Game of Thrones boat tour with Ross from Boyne Boats.
Hi, I'm Ross from Boyne Boats, and what we do is we take you on a guided experience in the Boyne Valley on the canal and river using actual original Game of Thrones boats. And we give you history, heritage, the mythology, and then stories from the inside of Game of Thrones, and other movie stuff as well that you can only find out when you're on the boat. So see you soon in the Boyne Valley.
You get to paddle down the River Boyne, past the site of the Battle of the Boyne, in a boat that was actually used in the hit TV series, and with Ross as your skipper, who has met many of the cast and had a role as an extra in many of the episodes. Not only will he fill you in on the history and battles that have taken place on the shores of the River Boyne, but he'll also tell you some fun stories from his days working on Game of Thrones, all while you paddle in tranquility. We stopped off at Sage and Stone Cafe for lunch, and were lucky enough to meet the owner to hear the history of this beautiful and very picturesque cafe.
So hi, I'm Ciara. This is my place, Sage and Stone, right here in Duleek. This was my dad's old milking parlour that I have renovated now, and it's a cafe, gift shop. We're trying to do kind of locally sourced food and trying to keep it within a 30-mile radius of suppliers, and so it's a farm shop stroke cafe, and I'm trying to give you a wholesome feed when you get here, and that we have a lot of friendly service. All my staff are here a long time, and we welcome anyone who would like to come here.
We decided to stop off at the Cottages by the Sea in Bettystown to check out these gorgeous 300-year-old thatched cottages that are available to rent for 5 days at a time. The landscaping and endless beds of flowers were phenomenal, and the views down to Bettystown Beach were just stunning. Definitely a place I would love to stay next time I'm in the Boyne Valley. We drove north up the coast and into County Louth to stop off at the Glide Inn for dinner. It might look like a traditional old pub from the outside, and even when you enter there are old trinkets and Guinness memorabilia everywhere you look. But out the back there's actually a large restaurant with stunning views. Famous for their razor clams, we simply had to try them. We checked into the historic Scholars Townhouse in Drogheda, and it felt fitting to stay in a historic building considering we were in one of the oldest and once most strategically important towns in Ireland. The townhouse is exquisitely decorated and we loved our view at our bedroom window. The next morning we did a guided walking tour of Drogheda with a local historian and Drogheda expert who filled us in on myths, legends, ghost stories and why the pretty town of Drogheda was once its own county and one of the most important places in Ireland.
Good morning everyone from another lovely little bit of a damp day here in the beautiful Boyne Valley. So we are back in Meath, we were in Drogheda, which is actually in Lough earlier, and now we are off to see Lough, Cairns megalithic site. So let's get some history.
Lough is an area of great historical importance as it is home to a group of megalithic tombs dating back to the 4th millennium BC. The hills and tombs are known as Slane Castle and are the highest point in County Meath. The site, which is a fun 20-minute hike to the top, is home to some of Ireland's oldest archaeological treasures, and possibly some of its best views too.
We have just got to the top of the hill here. Unreal, just panoramic views of the surrounding countryside, as you guys can see. And the name of this, I think, is Cairns. So you can see sort of a circle of standing rocks, standing stones, just here behind me. And then I guess this cairn of which you can't get into the inside, but you can see it from the outside.
As you can see, there is just so much to see and do here in the Boyne Valley, home to many of Ireland's most historical sites. Be it ancient Ireland, great food, the great outdoors, or a touch of adventure, both Meath and Louth are a great place for your Ireland staycation.